Okay, so I'm back from my little break that I took for the beginning of this video, and I wanted to let you know a little bit more about how I got the dreadlocks, who I found to do it for me, and also the products that I've been using on my hair. I've had it for 2 weeks. The full set of dreadlocks has been 2 weeks yesterday, and I washed it 3 times since I got them. The first time I washed my hair was 1 day earlier than what my stylist recommended. I couldn't stand it anymore. I've been using some products on my hair for dreadlocks to tighten them and also make them less frizzy looking and more just controllable and manageable. And I was really liking to play with them and do the palm rolling and things like that. So I was just putting some products on that were made for dreadlocks, which I don't regret at all. And I'm not sure if it was that or if it was just that my scalp did not like to have to wait that long to be shampooed. But I was starting to get itchy scalp, and I wasn't getting dandruff, but I was getting itchy scalp, and especially right here behind my ears going up, it was feeling kind of, and when I felt it with my fingers, it was feeling kind of like cruddy, sort of not oily, but more so like scabs. I don't think I really did have scabs, but I do think that there was some irritation. There was some redness. My husband took a picture from behind, and it was up close. You could see some redness between the sections. So my scalp was, feeling irritated, and I believe I just needed to wash my hair. So I washed my hair Monday instead of Tuesday, which would have been a week and a half. And then since then, I washed it every other day, focusing mostly on the scalp in the washing with the shampoo. And I've been using the Naughty Boy, N-O-T-T-Y-B-O-Y brand shampoo, the liquid bottle, not the solid shampoo bar. I've been using their liquid, and it's very pepperminty smelling, and it's very clean. I mean, I used it before I even got the dreadlocks because I just liked how clean it was, and I wanted to kind of experiment with what it was like. And I really like that shampoo. So I focused the shampoo on the roots of my hair, and also here around my face and ears, this non-dreaded hair, because it tends to get oilier. And then I also go through the middle sections from the back up, and I try to get as much as possible of the roots. And I don't really do a lot of movement on the dreads themselves. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to do that later on because there is product and things that are building up on those dreads. But right now, I don't think I need to wash them specifically. I do let the shampoo, when I'm rinsing it out, I let it kind of wash throughout the hair and the dreads. So I think that's enough for now. So my favorite product that I've used since the very beginning of getting the dreadlocks is Naughty Boy Lock Steady Tropical Tightening Gel. And gel is really the way for me to go. I used the beeswax from Dreadhead HQ 10 years ago when I had dreadlocks, but that just changed the color of my hair, made it look a little bit yellowish, and I just think it was too heavy and too much for this kind of hair that I have. So this is a gel, and it takes a while to dry, and you're supposed to, do the palm rolling, even like when you put it in, and then also even throughout while it's drying, like when your hair is tacky, you can still roll it and it will tighten them up, and it feels really good to have them. It's easy to put too much in over time because it really absorbs a lot into your hair. But there's no real danger in putting too much in. It's just a matter of like your hair will feel a lot more stiff and a lot more heavy, which isn't really a problem until you have to wait a week and a half to wash it, which that's what happened. But I wasn't putting it on my scalp. So I really like this. This has actually been my favorite product that I've used on my hair. I also like this product that I mixed up myself. It's in a spray bottle. I'm not going to show you the label because it does not matter what it's about a spray that I mixed up. It's a sea salt and water spray that I mixed up from a recipe I found online. I think I even found it on the Dreadhead HQ website. And basically you use 16 ounces of, so that's 2 8-ounce cups, 16 ounces or a pint of warm to very hot, very warm water to dissolve what you put into it, which is 1 tablespoon of sea salt. And for some reason, sea salt's supposed to be better. I don't know. I just happened to find some sea salt around the house and I used that. And then you really dissolve it. And then you, once it's fully dissolved, you can put it into a spray bottle. This one I like because it has a lot of mist aspect to the spray. You can probably not even see how much mist it is. But that actually, when I wash my hair, when it's wet, even when it's not wet actually, but I've heard that you're more effective to palm roll your hair when it's wet or damp. So I have been, as soon as I get out of the shower, I would spray it on and just spray it throughout, and then start palm rolling. And it's supposed to tighten them up. And the only drawback is that it kind of can dry your hair out in the long run. So that's why I don't plan on only using sea salt spray on my hair. I'm going to also use some of the other ones that have some things mixed into it that are a little more moisturizing. And also on the parts of my hair that are not dreaded, such as the ends and the hair around my face that's not dreaded. This, I was told by the stylist who did it, both times. The first time when I got sporadic dreads 5 weeks ago, and then when I came back to get the rest of the hair dreaded 3 weeks later, she told me that, my hair was starting to get tangled. The stuff that wasn't dreaded when it was sporadic was starting to get tangled within the dreadlocks. They're kind of like Velcro, and they start drawing all other hair in. So I was finger separating it every single day, but I was still getting knots. And she saw that and she suggested that I use conditioner in the hair that's not dreaded. And even better than a conditioner that's in the shower kind, it's better to use one that's a leave-in conditioner that you can apply outside the shower and see what you're doing so that you're not getting the conditioner on the dreadlocks. And so I had a lot of Bumble and Bumble products. That's all I used before I got dreadlocks. Bumble and Bumble, pretty expensive. You have to get it at salons that sell it. But I found that they were the only brand of hair products that worked for my hair without making it look oily from like almost the beginning of washing it. So this is the one I use. It was actually less of a favorite before I got dreadlocks, but now I use it to spray on. It's a primer, tonic lotion primer. Has tea tree oil in it, so it smells kind of like medicinal, but it works really well for detangling. And so when my hair is still wet, or even if it's not actually, but I spray it in, and if you want, you can just spray it on your hand and then put it in to like really focus it on the hair you want to stay untangled. And I use it on the ends as well. And it makes the ends so soft. I washed my hair yesterday. Again, it's the third time I washed it since I got them. And I have not sprayed it on the ends yet. But when I do, it's like I put my hair up like this. I can feel the difference between the dreadlock part and the ends. And the ends actually feel like down from like if you were petting the belly of a little duck or something, really soft down feeling on the ends of my hair. And then the upper part here feels a little bit tight, like, like rough, like dreadlocks would feel, but very clean. And so I don't use that spray on the dreadlocks, but I'm just saying the difference in the feeling is just really neat, I guess. So now I want to tell you about how I went about getting the dreadlocks. I found a salon in Portland, Oregon, where I live, which I feel very fortunate for living in Portland, Oregon. I didn't know there was any salon that would do dreadlocks, you know, generally, except maybe one or two that were sponsored by a company that does dreadlock products. But in Portland, in my town, that does dreadlocks non-judgmentally, does not have a list of, you know, ways that are the true way to have dreadlocks and the ways that are totally wrong and banned, and you will be shunned if you do it or even bring it up in their salon. Also, that I would feel comfortable going to with my texture of hair, not feeling like they would say, oh, your hair is not going to have a very good outcome with dreadlocks because it's straight. So I wanted someone who might be experienced with it. I also wanted someone who would be creative, because I wanted to create dreadlocks that looked different than the quote perfect dreadlocks. I didn't want them to be straight, perfect. I wanted them to have texture to them. I even liked the loops like this. And this, oh, here's a great example. Here, this loop, which looks like a heart, actually. So she put these loops into my hair when she was making the dreadlocks. We discussed that I saw these and I really liked them. And she said, well, your hair's gonna get the loops anyway as the dreadlocks go through a process of maturing over the first year, you're gonna get these loops no matter what, but you can kind of get rid of them during then because, you know, if you palm roll them and things like that. But I said, well, what if I like it? And what if I want it from the beginning? And she said, okay, well, I can actually figure out, I can make them that way from the beginning. And then you can maybe get rid of them later, but maybe not. And I said, I don't want to get rid of them. Tell me how I can make sure that I don't get rid of them. And so she said, well, you'll probably do the opposite of what you're supposed to do with dreadlocks to maintain them. Like, don't palm roll them so much and things like that. I have been palm rolling them, but I have, you know, not been worrying about it, just kind of like noticing that I really like that and trying to just let it happen. So I was really glad that I asked her for that. I found a salon because I was driving past. It's called Rock Salon. And I called, and I also looked for their website, and there were turned out 3 different places in Portland, salons that do dreadlocks specifically. And she was the one that seemed the most open-minded and creative about it. She was not against coloring your hair. When you have dreadlocks, coloring dreadlocked hair. She was not against dread perms, which I didn't even know what that was, but just that she was not speaking against that. She said that's sometimes a good option. And I did a consultation with her, a 30-minute consultation before making the appointment for the dreadlocks. And so I really recommend her. And she actually has people that fly in to get their hair done by her. And I actually would recommend that if you don't live in Portland, Oregon. It's a great city to come to visit.